Hi, good day to you all. Right now, we are at the entrance of the Wilpattu National Park. We are going to have an expedition inside Wilpattu for 3 days. And we are going to stay in Maridonmaduwa bungalow, which is inside the park. It's going to be an awesome experience for those who are with us for the expedition. Weather forecast says it can rain heavily. But we are ready to take that challenge. Because we had this experience with recent tour to Horton Plains and the forecast was heavy rains with thunderstorms. Nothing happened rather than a slight drizzle time to time, and we did our expedition successfully. Today I have Andrew with me to explain about the Wilpattu National Park. Stay tuned with me. I am Prasad Hapuarachi. Wilpattu National Park, Willu-pattu, Land of Lakes, is a national park in Sri Lanka. The unique feature of this park is the existence of Willus, natural lakes, natural, sand-rimmed water basins or depressions that fill with rainwater. Located on the northwest coast lowland dry zone of Sri Lanka, the park is 30 kilometers 19 miles west of Anuradhapura and 26 kilometers 16 miles north of Puttalam, approximately 180 kilometers 110 miles north of Colombo. The park is 1,317 square kilometers, 508 square miles, 131,693 hectares in area and ranges from 0 to 152 meters, 0 to 499 feet above sea level. Nearly 106 lakes, Willu, and tanks are found spread throughout Wilpattu. Wilpattu is the largest and one of the oldest national parks in Sri Lanka. Wilpattu is world-renowned for its leopard, Panthera pardus kotiya population. A remote camera survey conducted in Wilpattu from July to October 2015 by the Wilderness and Wildlife Conservation Trust captured photographs of 49 individual leopards in the surveyed area, the core area density of which was between that of Yala National Park's Block 1 and Horton Plains National Park. But today the leopard density is more higher than it was. Most of the leopards were killed by the Tamil terrorists during the civil war in Sri Lanka. But now the leopard density is keep on increasing, which is a good news to all nature and wildlife enthusiasts. The Mahavansa records that in 543 BC Prince Vijaya landed at Tambapani, now known as Kudramalai Point, Horse Point, established the Sinhalese kingdom in Tambapani and founded the Sinhala nation. In 1905 the area was designated a sanctuary and in 1938 it was upgraded to the national park status. Kudramalai, or Horse Point, was visited by a subject of Emperor Claudius in 47 AD, who was blown off course by the monsoon. The local king later sent his own envoys to Rome during the time of Pliny. The annual rainfall is about 1,000 mm 39 in, and the annual temperature is about 27.2 degrees Celsius 81.0 degrees Fahrenheit. Intermonsoonal rains in March and the northeast monsoon, December to February, are the main sources of rainfall. There are many types of vegetation to be found in Wilpattu, including littoral vegetation, such as salt grass and low scrub monsoon forest with tall emergence, such as Palu, Manilkara hexandra, and Satin, Chloroxylon swedenia, Mila, Vitex altissima, Wira, Drypets sepiaria, Ebony, Diospyros ebenum, and Wewarna, Alcyodaphne semecapreflolia. 31 species of mammals have been identified within Wilpattu National Park. Mammals that are identified as threatened species living within the Wilpattu National Park are the elephant, Elephas maximus maximus, sloth bear, Melarsis ursinus inornatus, leopard, Panthera pardus kotiya, and water buffalo Bubalus bubalus. Sambar, Rusa unicolor, spotted deer, Axis salinensis, mongoose, mouse and shrew are more of Wilpattu's residents. The Sri Lankan elephant, Elephas maximus maximus, is one of 3 recognized subspecies of the Asian elephant, and native to Sri Lanka. Since 1986, Elephas maximus has been listed as endangered by IUCN as the population has declined by at least 50% over the last 3 generations, estimated to be 60 to 75 years. The species is primarily threatened by habitat loss, degradation and fragmentation. Elephas maximus maximus is the type subspecies of the Asian elephant, first described by Carl Linnaeus under the binominal Elephas maximus in 1758. The Sri Lankan elephant population is now largely restricted to the dry zone in the north, east and southeast of Sri Lanka. Elephants are present in Udawalawe National Park, Yala National Park, Lunagambehara National Park, Wilpattu National Park and Minaria National Park, but also live outside protected areas. It is estimated that Sri Lanka has the highest density of elephants in Asia. Human-elephant conflict is increasing due to conversion of elephant habitat to settlements and permanent cultivation. Sri Lankan leopard, Panthera pardus kotiya, is a leopard subspecies native to Sri Lanka. It was first described in 1956 by Sri Lankan zoologist Puls Edward Pieris Daranayagala. Since 2020, the Sri Lankan leopard has been listed as vulnerable on the IUCN Red List, as the population is estimated at less than 800 mature individuals, and is probably declining. The Sri Lankan leopard has a tawny or rusty yellow coat with dark spots and close-set rosettes, which are smaller than in Indian leopards. 7 females measured in the early 20th century averaged a weight of 64 pounds 29 kilograms and had a mean head-to-body length of 3 feet 5 and 1.04 meters with a 2 feet 6.5 and 77.5 centimeters long tail, the largest being 3 feet 9 and 1.14 meters with a 2 feet 9 and 84 centimeters long tail. 11 males averaged 124 pounds 56 kilograms, the largest being 170 pounds 77 kilograms, and measured 4 feet 2 and 1.27 meters with a 2 feet 10 and 86 centimeters long tail, the largest being 4 feet 8 and 1.42 meters with a 3 feet 2 and 97 centimeters long tail. The Sri Lankan leopard has allegedly evolved to become a rather large leopard subspecies, because it is an apex predator without competition by other large wild cat species in the country. Large males have been suggested to reach almost 220 pounds 100 kilograms, but evidence for this is lacking. Melanistic leopards are rare. Few records exist, including from Mawildenia, Pitadenia, and Nalathania. In October 2019, the Department of Wildlife Conservation recorded live footage of a melanistic individual for the first time, a male. Sri Lankan leopard lifespans range from 12 to 15 years in the wild, and up to 22 years in captivity. Chital, axis, also known as spotted deer, chital deer, and axis deer, is a deer species native to the Indian subcontinent. It was first described by German naturalist Johann Christian Polycarp-Sleben in 1777. A moderate-sized deer, male chital reach nearly 90 cm 35 in and female 70 cm 28 in at the shoulder. While males weigh 30 to 75 kilograms, 66 to 165 pounds, the lighter females weigh 25 to 45 kilograms, 55–99 pounds. It is sexually dimorphic. Males are larger than females, and antlers are present only on males. The upper parts are golden to rufous, completely covered in white spots. The abdomen, rump, throat, insides of legs, ears, and tail are all white. The antlers, three-pronged, are nearly 1 meter 3 feet 3 in long. Muntjacs, also known as barking deer or rib-faced deer, are small deer of the genus Muntjacis native to South and Southeast Asia. Muntjacs are thought to have begun appearing 15 to 35 million years ago, with remains found in Miocene deposits in France, Germany and Poland. Most species are listed as least concern or data deficient by the IUCN, although others such as the black muntjac, Bornean yellow muntjac and giant muntjac are vulnerable, near threatened and critically endangered respectively. Inhabiting tropical regions, the deer have no seasonal rut, and mating can take place at any time of year. This behavior is retained by populations introduced to temperate countries. Males have short antlers, which can regrow, but they tend to fight for territory with their tusks, downward-pointing canine teeth. The presence of these tusks is otherwise unknown in native British wild deer and can be an identifying feature to differentiate a muntjac from an immature native deer. The Sri Lankan Sambar or Indian Sambar, Rusa unicolor, it is also spelt Sambur or Sambar Gona in Sinhala, is a subspecies of the sambar that lives in India and Sri Lanka. This subspecies is one of the largest sambar subspecies, with the largest antlers both in size and in body proportions. Large males weigh up to 270 to 280 kilograms. Sambar live in both lowland dry forests and mountain forests. Large herds of sambar roam the Horton Plains National Park, where it is the most common large mammal. Birds in Wilpattu: the painted stork, the open-bill, little cormorant, Sri Lankan junglefowl, Gallus lafayette, along with many species of owls, terns, gulls, eagles, kites, buzzards are to be found at Wilpattu National Park. Wetland bird species that can be seen in Wilpattu are the gargani, Anas curcedula, pintail, Anas acuta, whistling teal, Dendrocygna javanica, spoonbill, Platyleia leucorodea, black-headed ibis, Thresciornis melanocephalus, large white egret, Agreta alba modesta, cattle egret, Bubalcus ibis, and purple heron, Ardia purpurea. The Sri Lankan junglefowl, Gallus lafayette, sometimes spelled Gallus lafayette, also known as the Ceylon junglefowl, yellow-crested chicken, or Lafayette's junglefowl, is a member of the Galliformes bird order, which is endemic to Sri Lanka, where it is the national bird. It is closely related to the red junglefowl, G. gallus, the wild junglefowl from which the chicken was domesticated. However, a whole genome molecular study rather show that Sri Lankan junglefowl and grey junglefowl are genetically sister species than with the red junglefowl. Sri Lankan junglefowl and red junglefowl diverged about 2.8 million years ago, whereas time of divergence between the Sri Lankan junglefowl and grey junglefowl was 1.8 million years ago. The painted stork, Mycteria leucocephala, is a large wader in the stork family. It is found in the wetlands of the plains of tropical Asia south of the Himalayas in the Indian subcontinent and extending into Southeast Asia. Their distinctive pink tertial feathers of the adults give them their name. They forage in flocks in shallow waters along rivers or lakes. They immerse their half-open beaks in water and sweep them from side to side and snap up their prey of small fish that are sensed by touch. As they wade along, they also stir the water with their feet to flush hiding fish. They nest colonially in trees, often along with other waterbirds. The only sounds they produce are weak moans or bill clattering at the nest. They are not migratory and only make short-distance movements in some parts of their range in response to changes in weather or food availability or for breeding. Like other storks, they are often seen soaring on thermals. The woolly-necked stork or white-necked stork, Ciconia episcopus, is a large wading bird in the stork family Ciconiidae. It breeds singly, or in small loose colonies. It is distributed in a wide variety of habitats including marshes in forests, agricultural areas, and freshwater wetlands across Asia and Africa. Peafowl is a common name for three bird species in the genera Pavo and Afropavo within the subtribe Pavonina of the family Phasianidae, the pheasants and their allies. Male peafowl are referred to as peacocks, and female peafowl are referred to as peahens, even though peafowl of either sex are often referred to colloquially as peacocks. The two Asiatic species are the blue or Indian peafowl originally of the Indian subcontinent, and the green peafowl of Southeast Asia. The one African species is the Congo peafowl, native only to the Congo basin. Male peafowl are known for their piercing calls and their extravagant plumage. The latter is especially prominent in the Asiatic species, which have an eye-spotted tail, or train, of covert feathers, which they display as part of a courtship ritual. The white-bellied sea eagle, Haliaeetus leucogaster, also known as the white-breasted sea eagle, is a large diurnal bird of prey in the family Accipitridae. Originally described by Johann Friedrich Gmelin in 1788, it is closely related to Sanford's sea eagle of the Solomon Islands, and the two are considered a superspecies. A distinctive bird, the adult white-bellied sea eagle has a white head, breast, under-wing covers and tail. The upper parts are gray and the black under-wing flight feathers contrast with the white covers. The tail is short and wedge-shaped as in all Haliaeetus species. Like many raptors, the female is slightly larger than the male, and can measure up to 90 cm 35 in long with a wingspan of up to 2.2 meters 7.2 feet and weigh 4.5 kilograms 9.9 pounds. Immature birds have brown plumage, which is gradually replaced by white until the age of 5 or 6 years. The call is a loud goose-like honking. Resident from India and Sri Lanka through Southeast Asia to Australia on coasts and major waterways, the white-bellied sea eagle breeds and hunts near water, and fish form around half of its diet. Opportunistic, it consumes carrion and a wide variety of animals. Although rated as least concern globally, it has declined in parts of Southeast Asia such as Thailand, and southeastern Australia. It is ranked as threatened in Victoria and vulnerable in South Australia and Tasmania. Human disturbance to its habitat is the main threat, both from direct human activity near nests which impacts on breeding success, and from removal of suitable trees for nesting. The white-bellied sea eagle is revered by indigenous people in many parts of Australia, and is the subject of various folk tales throughout its range. The gray heron, Ardiasinoria, is a long-legged predatory wading bird of the heron family, Ardiidae, native throughout temperate Europe and Asia and also parts of Africa. It is resident in much of its range, but some populations from the more northern parts migrate southwards in autumn. A bird of wetland areas, it can be seen around lakes, rivers, ponds, marshes and on the sea coast. It feeds mostly on aquatic creatures which it catches after standing stationary beside or in the water or stalking its prey through the shallows. The great stone curlew or great thick-knee Asacus recurvirostris is a large wader which is a resident breeder in tropical southern Asia from India, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh into Southeast Asia. The great thick-knee is a large wader at 49 to 55 centimeters, and has a massive 7 centimeters bill with the lower mandible with a sharp angle giving it an upturned appearance. It has unstreaked gray-brown upperparts and breast, with rest of the underparts whitish. The face has a striking black and white pattern, and the bill is black with a yellow base. The eyes are bright yellow and the legs a duller greenish yellow. In flight, the great thick knee shows black and white flight feathers on the upper wing, and a mainly white underwing. Sexes are similar, but young birds are slightly paler than adults. The brown fish owl, Kotupa zelanensis, is a fish owl species in the family known as typical owls, Strigidae. It is native from Turkey to South and Southeast Asia. Due to its wide distribution, it is listed as least concern on the IUCN Red List. It inhabits forests and wooded wetlands. Of the 4 living species of fish owl, it is the most widely distributed, most common and best studied. It occupies a range of over 7,000 kilometers. The brown fish owl has prominent ear tufts and rufous brown upperparts that are heavily streaked with black or dark brown. Its underparts are buffy fulvous to whitish, with wavy dark brown streaks and finer brown barring. Its throat is white and conspicuously puffed. Its facial disc is indistinct, the bill dark and the iris golden yellow. Its featherless feet are yellow. 2-year-old brown fish owls are somewhat paler than adults. Female and male differ slightly in size. The brown shrike is mainly brown on the upper parts and the tail is rounded. The black mask can be paler in winter and has a white brow over it. The underside is creamy with rufous flanks and belly. The wings are brown and lack any white mirror patches. Females tend to have fine scalloping on the underside and the mask is dark brown and not as well marked as in the male. The distinction is not easy to use in the field but has been tested with breeding birds in Japan where the female can be identified from the presence of a brood patch. The use of multiple measurements allows discrimination of the sex of about 90% of the birds. Subspecies Lucianensis has a gray crown shading into the brown upperparts and the rump appears more rufous than the rest of the upper back. The tail is more brownish and not as reddish as in the red-backed shrike. Younger birds of Lucianensis have a brown crown and lack the gray on the head. Subspecies Superciliosus has a broad white supercilium and a richer reddish crown. The tail is redder and tipped in white. The crested goshawk, Accipiter trivirgatus, is a bird of prey from tropical Asia. It is related to other diurnal raptors such as eagles, buzzards, or butios, and harriers, and thus placed in the family Accipitridae. This raptor has short broad wings and a long tail, both adaptations to maneuvering through trees. It is 30 to 46 centimeters in length, with the female much larger than the male. The larger size and a short crest, clearly visible in profile, are the best distinctions from its relative. The Besra the male has a dark brown crown, gray head sides and black mustachial and throat stripes. The pale underparts are patterned with rufous streaks on the breast and bars on the belly. The larger female has a browner head and brown underpart streaks and bars. The juvenile has pale fringes to its head feathers, and the underpart background color is buff rather than white. The Asian green bee-eater is richly colored like other bee-eaters, slender bird. It is about 9 inches 16 to 18 centimeters long with about 2 inches made up by the elongated central tail feathers. The sexes are not visually distinguishable. The entire plumage is bright green and tinged with blue especially on the chin and throat. The crown and upper back are tinged with golden rufous. The flight feathers are rufous washed with green and tipped with blackish. A fine black line runs in front of and behind the eye. The iris is crimson and the bill is black while the legs are dark gray. The feet are weak with the 3 toes joined at the base. Southeast Asian birds have rufous crown and face, and green underparts, whereas Arabian Beluschicus has a green crown, blue face and bluish underparts. The wings are green and the beak is black. The elongated tail feathers are absent in juveniles. Sexes are alike. The most common reptiles found in the park are the monitor lizard, Varanus bengalensis, mugger crocodile, Crocodilus palustris, common cobra, Naya, rat snake, Tyas mucosus, Indian python, Python maloris, pond turtle, Melanoncheles trigiga, and the soft-shelled turtle, Lissamys punctata, which are resident in the large permanent Willus. The boundary of the Wilpattu National Park originally enclosed the Puttalam district in the south and Anuradhapura district in the east. On October 10, 2012, the government published several gazettes. Section 3 of the Forest Conservation Ordinance, Chapter 451, which effectively extended the park's boundary to include regions of the northern province after the end of the Civil War. Allegations had been made that parts of the reserve has been occupied to build houses by certain politicians in an attempt to create Muslim colonies in Wilpattu. Commerce and Trade Minister Rashad Bathiadine contends that it was the people who had been forcibly driven away by the LTTE in 1990 in accordance to their ethnic cleansing policy who had returned to their original villages. Further to this, the park was extended to the current size in 1999 after the ethnic cleansing, where the old villages were marked as part of the park is claimed by the people in this area. Aerial images taken recently does show that a considerable portion of the forest has been opened up and a large number of small houses being built in the area. People should understand the value of nature. The value of forests that support to keep this ecosystem balance. If the deforestation continues like how it is happening now, very soon humans have to live with its repercussions. Before I leave, I would like to request, if you haven't subscribed to the Prasad Hipuarachi Wild Media channel yet, please press that subscribe button and the notification bell as well, so that you will be notified whenever we come up with a new educational video of Sri Lanka's wilderness. Stay tuned with us.